Hello everyone, welcome to introduction class of C++. So again, what is C++? C++ is an object-oriented programming language and it was developed by Janne Stoustrup at AT&T Bell Laboratories. Janne Stoustrup is a great admirer of Simula67 and C languages. So he basically wanted to combine the best of these two languages and wanted to create a new new powerful object-oriented language. As a result, he developed the C++ with major additional features. Basically, we call it as an C++ is an extension of C with major additional features. Okay, it is first initially called as a C with classes, and later on it was renamed as a C++, and that idea was generated from the increment operator plus plus. So and then it is renamed as a C++. And then we can say that C++ is a superset of C, because basically whatever is accepted in C programming language will also be accepted in the C++ programming language. That's why we call C++ as the superset of C. So let's see a simple C++ program. Hash include iostream.h. In the first line, they have included the header files. Header files are used to store the predefined classes and functions of the functions of C++. And in iostream.h, the iostream.h is a header file which is used to handle the input-output operations. So this iostream.h will handle all the input and output operations of this particular program. And in the second statement, they have used defined using namespace std. Here using and namespace is keywords, new keywords which are used in the C++, and std is the name. So in this statement, they have defined the namespace. Namespace is nothing but it defines the scope of the variable that are used in this program. Okay, here the namespace std is used. Std is nothing but the name of the namespace, where the standard libraries of the C++ are defined. So in ANSI C++ programs, namespace should be defined in all the programs after the header file section. Okay, and then here we have a main class, int main. As we know, main is the entry point of the C++ program. In C also, main function is the entry point. Likewise, in C++ also, entry point is the main function. Int defines the return type of the main. By default, main return type is the int. And then here we have another new name called as an cout. Cout, and we have a new operator like this, which is called as an insertion or put to operator. And in double quotes, they have defined that C++ is better than C. Okay, this statement is a replacement of printf statement in C. The cout statement is used to print the output, or print some statements on the display. To display anything on the screen, we use the cout statement, cout, and this operator is called as an insertion operator or else put to operator. And The next statement is return 0. Return 0. Here we told, as we told previously, the main function's default return type is int. So every program must return an integer value. So we have to specify the return statement at the end of the main function, or else some warning will be thrown out. Then they close the main function with a closing curly braces. We have discussed all the statements from hash include iostream.h to the return 0, but we have excluded some statements, some lines which was defined with this symbol. Okay, these are all the comment statements. Comment statements are used to specify for what that particular line is used, to tell the developers or to tell some of the persons who are using this particular program. To define it, we use this comment section, comment lines, and the comment lines are started with backslashes, which is called as a single line comment lines. If we want to use a multi-line comments, then we use the symbols like this. Backslash, asterisk, and then write the comment, then asterisk, backslash. Let's see more C++ statements. Here they have given in another C++ program. Let's see line by line. In the first statement, they have defined the header file as usual, hash include iostream.h. As we know, iostream header file is used to handle the input output operation in this program. And in the second statement, they have given the namespace using namespace std, and we know that the namespace std defines the standard libraries of the C++. And then main, int main, it is the main function. And then in the main function, they have derived in the main function, the first statement they have given is float num1 comma num2 comma sum comma ave, and this statement is so much similar which we have seen in the C program. This is the variable declaration. Yes, this is the variable declaration. In this statement, they have stated 4 variables, num1, num2, sum, ave, in the data type float. In floating data type, they have defined 4 variables. And then in the next step, in the next line, they have given the cout. In the last program, we have studied what is cout. The cout is used to print a specific line or display a specific line on the output screen. Okay, and then here they have given cout enter 2 numbers. In the cout statement, whatever we are giving within the double quotes, that statement will be displayed as it is on the output screen. Okay, and then the next statement is cin statement, which is a new one for us. The cin statement is similar to scanf statement in the C program. In the C program, we have studied scanf, and in C++ it is cin. The cin statement is used to get the value, dynamically get the value of a particular variable. In the cin statement, we are using an operator like this, which is called as an extraction operator. Extraction operator. Okay, and then cin num. This statement defines that the value which is given on the output screen at the time of this particular line execution will be taken as an num1 value, and then likewise cin num2, the number or the value which is given on the output screen at the time of this statement execution will be taken as the value of num2. Okay, and then the next statement is sum equal to num1 plus num2. Here they are calculating or they are adding the num1 value and num2 value which was given dynamically from the output screen, and that addition value will be saved in the variable called as sum. And in the second, and then in the next statement they are calculating the average to the sum. And the next statement is cout statement. Again, using this cout statement, they are displaying the output of the sum and then average. We have calculated the sum and average of num1 and num2. So using the cout statement, we are going to display the output on the output screen using the cout statement. If you notice, there is a difference between these two cout statements, right? Here in the first cout statement, they have stated that cout, in the first cout statement they have stated just within the double quotes they have given a enter two numbers. But here in this cout statement, if you see, they have given a sum equal to within the quotation. Again they have used the insertion operator here, and then without any double quotes they have given the name, they have given sum. So there is a difference between these two cout statement. As I said before, whatever given between the quotation will be displayed as it is on the output screen. If we are not giving any name without an quotation, which means that is a variable. Here cout within the quotation sum, and then using the extraction operator, again we are giving the sum. This sum stating the variable sum. So here the value of the sum will be displayed. Here the value of the sum will be displayed, and then this is a backslash n will create a new line. This is a white space character backslash n which will be creating a new line, and then again another cout statement is here, and here within the quotation they are giving average equal to, and then extraction operator, and they have specified a variable AVE. So here we are extracting the value of the AVE variable which we calculated before. Okay, here we are not displaying the AVE on the screen. Here we are going to display the value of the AVE variable, and then new line symbol, new line white space backslash n, and then as usual at the end of the every main function we have to define the return 0 or return statement, because without it, or else a warning will be displayed. Here is the output of the previous program. When we execute the previous program, it executes and displays this line in the output screen. Enter two numbers and then halts the program, halts the execution of the program and waits for the user's input for the assigning of the value to the num1 and num2. So when the user enters the values for the num1 and num2, the first number will be assigned to the num1. 6.5 will be assigned to the num1 and then 7.5 will be assigned to the num2, and then the execution of the program will continues or resumes. Then it calculates the sum and average on the numbers values which was given by the user. So after calculating the sum and average, it displays the sum and average of the 6.5 and 7.5. The sum is 14 and then average is 7. The code or the state line, the line of code which is used for the displaying of sum and average are cout here, displayed here, cout sum. Compare these two things. The output of cout sum equal to sum is this one, sum equal to 14. Compare these two lines. Cout is used to display the output on the output screen, right? Here, whatever we have given within the quotation is displayed as it is without any changes, without any alterations or anything. But after that, we have used an extraction operator and then we given the variable name called sum. So here the sum is not displayed as it is in characters, but here it fetched the value of the sum and then displayed on the output screen, and then a white space character is used here which is called as a new line. Okay, likewise the average line is also printed. See out average, the average is mentioned within the quotes and then it is printed as it is, and then AVE variable is used. Here the value of the AVE variable is fetched and then printed on the output screen. Now let's see an example with class. And the program starts with an header file as usual and then a namespace. These two statements are common in all the programs. And then here in the third line they have mentioned class. They are creating a class name, and here they have given the class name as person, and then within the class they have declared a variable of character type which is named as name in the size of 30, and then another variable is also declared and the name of the variable is age and its type is integer, and then here they are declaring two member functions or functions. We can call it as a member function or functions, which is named as get data and display, and these two functions are in public, which means if anything declared under public means it is accessible to within the class and outside the class also. Okay, here and if you noticed that here they have mentioned void get data of void, which means the first void defines the return data type of the get data function. And then here the void is represented in mentioned in the parenthesis, which means we are not going to give any arguments or parameters. We are not going to pass any kind of parameters while calling the get data function. Likewise, in display function also, the return data type of the display is void, which means when we call the display function and after executing the display function will not return, after executing the display function, it will not return any data to the main function. And then while executing the data display also, we need not pass any arguments or parameters for the display. And then they have ended the class program like this. Here, while ending the class program, you have to close the class with a curly braces, closing curly braces along with semicolon. The semicolon is must. It is a syntax for the class. We have to open the class with an opening curly braces and close the class with a closing curly braces along with a semicolon. Once the class is defined, we are going to define the member functions. We are going to define the member functions which are declared in the class. Inside the class, we will declare the member functions, but outside the classes we can define the member functions. So this is how we are going to define the member function. Let us see. The return data type is void, and then person. Person is the our class name, and then double colon. It is an scope resolution operator. This is the scope resolution operator, and then our function name get data without any arguments. Here why we are giving the class name is we are defining the member function outside the class. So when we are defining the member function, we have to state that for which class this member function is related to. We have to mention that. That's why here we are mentioning the class name with the scope resolution operator. Here we are telling that this get data member function belongs to the class person, and then within the, and we are going to define the get data member function by opening the curly braces, and then here cout function is there, enter name, and then using the cin statement we are going to get the name of the user and then age as well. We are going to get the data from the user, user name and age of the user. Close the get data member function with the closing curly braces. The get data member function has been defined. Now it's time to define the display member function. So as we define get data in the same syntax, with the same syntax, we are going to define the display function. As usual, we have to define mention the return data type, which is void, and then the class name of the display function, which is person, and we are going to use the scope resolution operator, and then display, and then parameters. So we are going to start the definition of the display function with the opening curly braces, and then displaying the name and age of the user, and then close the display function. And then the main function, we are going to define the main function int main. Int is the return type of the main, and then open the main function with the opening braces, and then we are here. This here we have created an object. Here we have created an object for the class person. An object for the person class is created by mentioning the class name person space. Here the object name is P. So mention the object name semicolon. Now an object for the person class is created. By using the object P, we are going to call the member functions of the class person. So to call the member functions, we have to use the object P dot. Dot is an operator which is used to call the member functions. Dot get data. So when the get data is called, immediately the control flows to the get data function, and then the get data function will be executed, and then after executing the get data function, the control again returns back to its original state, and then after executing the get data, the control returns back to its original place. And then here we have another calling function p dot display, which is also display is also another member function. Here after once the display function is called, the control again goes back to the member function, and then it executes the member function. Display will be executed. Once the display is executed, the control again comes back here. So after that, return 0 will be executed and the program will be ended. Okay, so now let's see the output of this program. Here it is the output of the program. See here, when this program is executed, first the main function will be executed, because as we know that main is the entry point of the program. So here it will check that there is a person P. So the compiler will automatically understand that person is the class name and P is the object, and it checks the class, and then it will understand all the data or all the instruction which is specified under the person class. It has two variables and two member functions, and then here p dot get data is called. So the function the control will be flows to the get data member function, and these instruction will be executed. So the output of these instruction is here, enter name, and then the user has to give the name, which is a Ravinder, and then age will also be the get data function will ask the age of the user, and then the user has to enter the age 30. So this get data function is executed right now. So it the control will goes back to the original position in the main function. Then p dot display is here. It is another function call. So the control will flows to the display function. In the display function, there is an instruction which is called as cout. They have used in the cout. They are displaying the name and age of the user. So this is the output for this function, display function. So the name Ravinder, age 30 will be displayed on the output screen. Again, after the execution of these instructions, the control will return back to the original position in the main function, and then return 0 will be executed, and this is the end of the program. But all these instructions will be executed in within a second, so the transferring of the control will not be mentioned, or will not be traced by the user which are using on the output screen. Structure of C++ program. This is the basic structure of the C++ program. The C++ program, first it has to start with the include files like header files and then namespaces. If you are using an ANSI C++ version, if you are going to use an ANSI C++ version, then namespace must be used. If you are using any other versions of C++, then namespace is not an compulsion or mandatory. And then after including the header files, we have to declare the class. We have to declare the class, and within the class we have to declare the variables and the member functions under those classes, and then close the class with the closing braces along with semicolon. And then after the class declaration, the member functions has to be defined. In the class, the member functions are just declared, but outside the class we have to define the member functions by using the scope resolution operator. And then once all the member functions are defined, the main function, the main program has to be defined. In the main program, all the member functions has to be accessed and should be used. No member function should be left out without using it, because it might throw some warnings, or else it might throw some complications or errors in the program in the future. So this is the basic structure of the C++ program. And in this class we have seen totally 3 programs, just a simple program and with some more extra statements. And then in the last example we have seen how to declare a class and the member, how to define a member function and all those things. And with these examples, I think all of you has understood how a C++ program will execute. So thank you so much. This is Valarmati signing off.